Hello and welcome back. Pockets here with some more Magic the Gathering Collector Booster Pack opening. Looking for some more March of the Machine. Gonna look for some more good hits. See what we can get. Yeah, hit or miss. This pack, one was like a little bit spoily, like spoiled people a lot. I think this is much more like what opening packs usually is, where occasionally you get the big hits. Not like every pack. It seemed like in one with the all v one, like really just seemed like almost every pack was a gold mine. Not really, but it seemed that way. You know what I mean? This seems a little more down to earth. Like you do still get good cards, and it's still fun to open them, but they're not every pack is wowzers. So let's see how we do with these three. Maybe another hit like that Ragavan. That'll be good. Another incubator token. I can always, as I always say, I like those because I built an incubate deck. So I'd like to have more tokens than I can create. I don't think I've seen this. Golden Scale Aeronaut, 4 and a white for a 2/3 flying dwarf pilot with backup 1. It is what it is. Limited card. It'd probably be really good limited. 5 mana for a 2/3 is a little, but 5 mana for a 3/4 flyer is alright. Failed conversion, 4 and a black. Target creature gets -4/-4 when it dies. Surveil 2. A little bit of removal. 5 mana is a bit steep, but in limited, you'll take it. Blighted Burgeoning. Some more cards I haven't seen. That's not nice art. It looks like, well, I guess maybe it's not rib cages. Now, zoom in on the camera, you can see a little better. It looks more like weird glowy cocoons. But from a distance, it looked like ribs, torsos. 2 and a green for an aura. Enchant land. When Blighted Burgeoning enters the battlefield, incubate 2. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. Oh, yeah, okay. A little bit of ramp, a little bit of, you get a 2/2 out of it, basically get a 2/2 out of it. Like it. I could see that maybe supplementing in for like a wild growth. It's a little more expensive, but any one of those types of effects, you could switch that in to get a creature. Okay, Javelineer, Ogre Spirit, 4 and a red for a 5/4 with reach. Tap it, deals 2 damage to target player or battle. Okay, a pinger, a big pinger. Building a ping deck, why not, right? Give it a little bit of reach too, so it can block on your turn or on your opponent's turn, then tap it before it goes back to you. Portent Tracker, 1 and a green for a 1/1. Oh, that's cool. The Phyrexian symbol in the background from the clouds. Sorry, 1 and a green for a 1/1. Satyr Scout. Tap to untap target land, always a pretty good ability. Choose target battle. If an opponent protects it, remove a defense counter from it. Otherwise, put a defense counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery. Oh, and you can do it. You tap every turn with that one. Okay. Again, if you're doing battles, this may not be a bad card to think about. Scrappy Bruiser. Yeah, I've seen this guy. Raccoon Warrior attacks up to 1. Sorry. When Scrappy Bruiser attacks, up to 1 target attacking creature gets +2/+0 and gains trampled on a turn. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the end of combat. It's a great way to get a little bit of damage through. Take one of your big creatures, give them a little bigger and trample, and then put it away. Invasion of Belanon. This is the Knights one, yeah. So at night, I think we saw this one. I'll bring it up just so you guys can read it if you don't remember. And then it flips to the Anthem. All creatures you control get +1/+1. The Anthem might be enough for me to put that in my Mirror deck, even though it's soldiers and not knights, but the other side is alright. I'll have enough stuff to attack it. Forest. Okay, let's get into the rares. Here we go. Mythic rare right off the hop. What do we get? Monastery Mentor. I do like this card. Standard in the foil. Monastery Mentor, 2 and a white, 2/2 human monk with prowess. Whenever you cast non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. So every spell, you get more and more prowess. Pretty cool. It's not legendary, so he can't be your commander, but you put him in a prowess deck. Probably like maybe a Boros, something like that. We got here another rare. This is another of the multiverse cards. Excellent. Drana and Linvala. Is this the one? No, it's not the one that came in my precon. 1 white, black for a 3/4 vampire angel with flying and vigilance. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. That's sick. Drana and Linvala. Has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So if, wow. I could see some potential there, but it's all going to hinge on what your opponents are playing too. So you kind of have to know your meta, but that's pretty cool. I like the turning off activated abilities. That's doesn't say non-mana either, so mana dorks. That sort of thing. Rare. Oh, I do like this. I wanted another one. I have one in my Brimaz deck. Well, it came in the precon, but I wanted one for my Warriors Soldiers deck, and this will do it. It's basically the sort of... can't remember the name of it. Where when you attack, you search for a basic land card. Anyway, Bitter Thorn Nissa's Animus. 3 mana legendary artifact equipment. Living Weapon. So Living Weapon, when it comes in attached to a 0/0 Phyrexian Germ. So why it works in the Brimaz deck, because that's a Phyrexian. Gets equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it to the battlefield tab, then shuffle. Works really good in my Brimaz deck because you swing with it, and even if they block and kill it, you trigger Brimaz's Proliferate, and you get to get an extra land card if Brimaz is out. Uncommon. Wrath in the Stained Glass. Excellent. Ooh, this is an alternate. I've got a couple Zadas, but not in this art. This is the Crazy Foil or the Halo Foil. I was going to say Surge Foil again. Halo Foil. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Zada, Hadron Grinder, copy that spell for each other creature you control. That spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Yeah, it's kind of like mini Feather, which might be interesting. You know, I wanted to build a Feather deck, but I haven't done it. Maybe I'll build this guy instead. Ooh. Another Showcase Polychronos. Oh, we got something back there. I will read this one just because he's a cool card. He's a Hydra. Green for a 4/5 Hydra. Now, these flip cards are green and because they have colored mana in their Oracle text. So it's green and white. So Selesnya. So it's not just mono green. In case, you know, for newer players, maybe you didn't know that. I've had to explain it a couple times now, so I figured I'd send a video. Sorry. Polychronos Reborn. Green for a 4/5 legendary creature Hydra with reach. 6 in a Phyrexian white. Polychronos transforms into a 6/6 Polychronos Engine of Ruin. I say it different every time, don't I? 6/6 legendary creature Phyrexian Hydra with reach and lifelink. And Polychronos Engine of Ruin or another non-token Hydra you control dies. Create a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with reach and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian creature token with lifelink. And we did get a Hydra token. I don't remember if it was the reach or the lifelink. I'd have to go back and look in my pile of unsorted cards. But yeah, there he is. So, sort of a flip legendary, another one of the commanders. Could be interesting. I like Hydras, and I haven't built a Hydra deck yet, so... Final card. Judith Scourge Diva. Where does this guy go? So not Jury, this is something else. 1, a black and a red. I like this art. It's got to be Ravnica, right? Judith the Scourge Diva. 1 black red for a 2/2 human shaman. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith Scourge of Diva deals 1 damage to any target. Okay, interesting. Maybe not, not the most, but it's still a Rakdos thing. Sacking and pinging. There's other ways to do it as well, but that gives all your creatures 1 more power, so that's not bad. She's cheap at 3 mana. All right, like that Bitterhorn or Bitter Thorn. I keep calling it Bitterhorn. Glad to get another one of those, and I don't have to buy one. Maybe I can get more, and we can put them in other decks. Well, I don't want to get too many more, because I want to get some other stuff, but you know what I mean. Cards are always welcome. So, Phyrexian Incubator token on the back. Infected Defector. It's a Phyrexian Knight, so maybe it'll go in my Brimaz deck. Let's look. Brimaz. 4 and a white for a 4/3 Phyrexian Knight. When Infected Defector dies, incubate 3. I mean, you sack it, incubate 3. It kind of fits the theme of the deck. I don't know if there's room for him in there, but cool enough. Common lands, dual lands for limited, sure. Budget duels if you need them, like I do most of the time. Redcap Heel Slasher, 3 and a red for Creature Goblin Rogue with backup 1 and first strike. Cool. 2/3. Overgrown Pest. Cute little guy. I'll leave it here for a second. You can pause it if you want to read it. Aki Scrap Chomper. I think we've seen this one. 1 red for a 1/1 Phyrexian Goblin. 1 and a red tap, sacrifice an artifact or land to draw a card. Cool. So you could get extra treasure tokens, use them to draw cards instead. Storm the Seed Core. 2 and a green, 2 green for a sorcery. Distribute 4+1/+1 counters among up to 4 target creatures you control. Creatures you control gain vigilance and trample till end of turn. Excellent. It's going to be another one for my son's Golgari deck. I still can't. I looked and I got his name so I could say it, and then I still can't remember it. Haha. Mutagen Connoisseur. That's a cool art. I think we already got this card, but not in that art. Kind of freaky. For a Vidalcan Mutant. Another cool island. Here's our first rare. Glissa Herald of Predation. 3 black-green for a 3/5 Phyrexian Zombie Elf. The beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. Incubate 2 twice. So you basically put out 2 incubator tokens with 2+1/+1 counters on them. Transform all incubator tokens you control, or Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch on the turn. That's cool. Does not fit in Brimaz, but it's cool. Could be a second incubate deck, maybe. Interesting. I think I like the proliferate where I went already. So cool card though. Another Omnath Locus of All. Extended art, I believe. Yep. So Omnath Locus of All. Wow. Omnath Locus of All. White, blue, Phyrexian black, red, green. For a 4/4 Phyrexian elemental. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes black. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols in its mana cost. If you do, add 3 mana in any combination of its colors and put it into your hand. If you don't reveal it, put it in your hand. So my reading of this, so usually it'll say you don't lose mana as phases change. This just says unspent mana turns to black. So if you don't spend it, even at the end of your turn, you don't lose it, is how I read that and understand that. Let me know if I'm wrong. So that means you could save some mana on your opponent's turn, and then just before your turn, tap everything out. And then when it goes to switch to your turn and you would lose the mana, it all turns into black mana. Pretty interesting. Lots of different, and again, he doesn't really, other than if you care about looking for at least the 3 colored mana symbols, but even then, without that, it doesn't sort of lead you anywhere. You can kind of build whatever you want, right? In 5 colors too. So it's kind of who knows what you want to build with that, I think. I don't know, still wrapping my head around him a little bit. Commander card. Vivian's Talent. We haven't seen Vivian's Talent yet. Should be good. 3 green, enchant Planeswalker. Enchanted Planeswalker has +1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or a land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on Enchanted Planeswalker. Excellent. 5 color Super Friends with all the talents, eh? There's an uncommon. Oh, Agar. Yep. Let's go over here. Agar. Yep. I've already got this exact card, but that's cool. I love this frame, so it's a good trader. Wow, that's the second time. I think I did that last time too. Agar and then the etched foil Agar. That's funny. Bloated Processor. Ooh. 2 and a black. Sacrifice another Phyrexian. Put a 1/1 counter on Bloated Processor. Fits right in. When Bloated Processor dies, incubate X or X is its power. Yeah, I think I have to make room for this because it does everything I want. It sacrifices, because I want to be able to sacrifice on my opponent's turns to get my proliferate triggers off Brimaz. It puts a +1/+1 counter on him, which I can then double with Brimaz. And when he dies, it makes an incubator. Makes at least a 3 counter incubator. That's cool. As long as it dies. If it's exiled, you kind of lose it, but... Umari. I haven't actually seen this one. This is one of those companions. 2 Golgari, both hybrid mana, as the companions are. For a 4/5 legendary creature Ooze, Umari the Collector. So for the companion, each no-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. Okay, that's a little bit more tricky, unless it's all creatures, for example. As Umari the Collector enters the battlefield, choose a card type. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Okay, I mean, it's neat. It's a very cool art. Not sure it's going to do me any good, but maybe a trade fodder. Someone that likes Umari might want that art. All right, pack number 3. Let's get through this. Trying to go a little faster. We are getting a little quicker. We're down from like 20-something minutes. Should be down into like the 12-minute range, 15-minute range. This one might take a little longer. I read a couple things. Another Phyrexian Incubator token. Okay. Ichor Drinker. Black for a 1/1 Phyrexian Vampire with lifelink. Pay black, exile Ichor Drinker from your graveyard to incubate 2. It's interesting. I don't think I have room for it, but it does fit the theme. Definitely does. That's probably really good in limited. Well, I know it's going to be good in limited. A 1/1 lifelinker for 1 that then becomes basically a 2/2 when you need it. Theba Cryptomancer, 1 in a blue for a Moonfolk Ninja. Flash with backup 1 and hexproof for 0/1. So you do with Flash. Oh, that's actually, yeah. 1 in a blue with Flash, you give the backup to, say, your commander when he gets targeted by a spell, and you give it hexproof. That's cool. I could find room for that in a blue deck. The protection spell on a stick. Coming in hot. For a red instant, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike on the turn, scry 1. Combat tricks. If you're playing combat tricks, you know, the Zada guy, you cast it on him, you give that to all your creatures. That's not bad. There's our land for this pack. Aetherblade Agent, we've seen. 3-second deposit if you want to read it. Transforms into Gitaxian Mind Stinger. Change the equation. 1 in a blue, choose 1. Counter target spell with mana value 2 or less. Or counter target red or green spell with mana value 6 or less. Okay. Yeah, some more hate this time for red or green. Counter 2, I mean, 2 mana to counter a small spell. If you have it in your hand when you need it, it's not bad. Invasion of Capenna. A new Capenna. I had my thumb over the new when I was reading that. White, black for a 4 defense invasion. When Invasion of New Capenna enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice an artifact or a creature. When you do, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls. Oh. Well, yeah. That's awesome, actually. For what I'm looking at, like I want sacrifice triggers, so that works. When you flip it, it becomes a Holy Frazzle Cannon. Okay. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature. When equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and each other creature you control that shares a creature type with it. Equip 1. I think I'm gonna have to try to fit this in to my Brimaz deck. I think that'll be fun, even if it's not like great. I'm sure there's something in there I can replace with that. Excellent. Invasion of New Capenna. Okay, I like that. That looks like it might go right up my alley. Yeah, +1/+1 counter. Because all my creatures in that are actually Phyrexian now, I believe. There's a plains. I like this one a lot. I wonder what plane is that? I don't know. I'd have to look it up. It's a magical plane. Huh. Mythic Rare Invasion. Ooh, what's this? Colorless. Invasion of Ravnica. 5 mana. Colorless for a 4/4 siege. 4 defense siege. 4/4. When Invasion of Ravnica enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent a controller controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. Okay, so it's not Ravnican. Get rid of it. That can work in a lot of cases. I mean, 5 mana exile anything. Non-land permanent. What happens when you flip it? It becomes probably an Eldrazi? No, a construct. Okay. Guild Pact Paragon. 5/5 construct. Whenever you cast a spell that's exactly 2 colors, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a card that's exactly 2 colors from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom in any order, or in a random order. Interesting. Something to build around. If you're building like a 2-color deck, why not, right? That's awesome. That's a mythic rare one, eh? Glistening Dawn. 2 green, green, incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control. Wow. And in green. So, I mean, by the time you have 4 mana on turn 2, incubate 4 twice. Or 4 land. That's cool. Doesn't fit my Brimaz deck, but, you never know. Something that cares about 1/1s. Ooh, Surrak and Goreclaw. This is one I was looking at as well. I did get the Goreclaw in the last box, so... Surrak and Goreclaw. 4 green, green for a 6/5. Legendary creature, Human Bear. He has Trample. Other creatures you control have Trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste on a turn. Could be good in its own deck. I think this is going to go in Brimaz. Or Brimaz. Rurik. Might see if there's room for him in there. That's cool. Okay. Rada Coalition Warlord. Yeah, we have a few of these now. Makes sense. They're uncommon. Another Tetsuko. Another rare. Another Ghalta Mavren this time in the foil. I don't think the other one I got was foil. If you didn't watch the last video, we'll quickly go through it. 3 green, green, white, white for a 12/12. Legendary creature, Dinosaur Vampire with Trample. When you attack, choose one. Create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with Trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. So that's other than Ghalta and Mavren, I believe. So you can't use the 12, you use your next biggest creature. Unless you have Yurgle out there, and he's like 18/6 or something. Or you can create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelinks, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So if you go wide, you get more. If you're going tall, you get another big one. That's cool. Rare Multiverse Legends. Zerda the Dawn. Oh, this is the other companion. This is another one of the companions. Let's put this guy down. 1 Boros Hybrid. So 3 mana total for a 3/3 legendary creature, elemental fox named Zerda the Dawn Waker. Couldn't read it from that foiling. Very cool art. Angry Fox. Each permanent in your starting deck has an activated ability. That's not too bad. Abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. And then 4/1 tap target creature can't block this turn. That is actually quite good if you're going to build some sort of like pingers or a Boros Pingers deck. You could bring him in as your companion probably. I like that. There we go. So that is those 3 packs. Did I get dual Ghalta? No, I got the Ghalta here, I got the Surrak. I got this Invasion of Ravnica, which is neat. Monastery Mentor is always welcome. This Bitterthorn is awesome. So, those are the 3 packs. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section down below. And as always, take care of each other. I'm out of here.